Welcome to It's All Fine and Dangy, where we talk about community, health, culture, and all of the big and little things that make life good. Here are your hosts, Dan and Angie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 70 of the It's All Fine and Dangy podcast. We are so happy that you are tuning in today.
Yes, indeed we are. And I always say the same thing every show. You ever notice?
Indeed.
I say indeed, and I say, wow, I can't believe we're already at 20. Wow, I can't believe we're already at 30. So
it's 70.
Here we are at 70.
Yes, and so we are excited for our guest this evening. We have a long list of things that she has founded or done or started.
Yeah, this is a heck of an intro.
I'm telling you. So we have CEO and owner of Goddess Faces, founder of Beauty Defined and Goddess Girls, and author of Beauty Defined. We'd like to welcome Miss Jaye Tyson, better known as Miss Jaye. How are you, Miss Jaye? Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to this since the minute you called and asked. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. How are you guys doing?
Oh, nice.
How's everything? Episode 70. I feel
Yes.
like I need an award or something.
Yeah. We're
That's
trucking.
awesome.
We are trucking right along. We started last year, I think, in April.
Yeah, it's been over a year already.
Yeah. And so the bummer is because of COVID-19, we don't get to be sitting with you personally, but we still get to see your beautiful face via Skype. So that's a wonderful thing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we do miss kind of running around and meeting people and having people in the studio, because we actually built a studio. I don't know if you can see any of it.
Yeah, our timing was perfect. We built a nice studio for guests to come in right before everything happened.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we had like 3 or 4 guests.
So we have nice seating for the camera now. Yeah, that's kind of how it turned out.
Yeah. So I think our goal is, after everything kind of goes back to normal, guests that we've had on via Skype, we're going to have come into the studio so we can actually.
Absolutely.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to. Just let me know the time and day I'm there.
Yes,
Awesome.
ma'am. Because we have this cool wall that we were having people sign, and we're like, oh, we got to be adding to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
absolutely.
And it is great to sort of virtually meet you and talk to you, but there's something different about being in the room and having that human interaction that we all miss right now.
Yes,
So.
yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So how have you and your family been doing?
When it comes to this whole COVID thing, 2020 overall just kind of came and said, hey, I'm about
here.
to jack some stuff up.
Yes.
It basically said it basically is saying you're never going to forget me.
Right.
That's what it's saying.
2020 showed up and said, let me just tell you this.
Exactly.
It's so
I'm
funny.
here.
I mean, I say it's funny, but we all started thinking, oh, it'll be a couple weeks. Oh, maybe it'll be a month. Maybe it'll be a couple months. And now I'm like, maybe it'll be 5 years.
Right.
Don't think like that.
Right. Exactly. We don't know. We're up in the air. But, I have to say, it hasn't hit our home as hard as it has many others.
Yes.
So, we're definitely grateful for that. My husband's still working, Goddess Faces is doing great. It's our kids are good. We're healthy, we're happy. So we definitely want to say, we're just so grateful. I thank God every day that in the midst of this storm, it's kind of like he put our little family in a bubble. And so I'm so grateful for that. My husband, he's in IT too.
Oh, nice.
So he works for Seminole County Haggerty High School. So he's their IT guy over there.
That's
so
challenging IT for a school.
Yes. He's definitely in demand, especially when they went into the whole distance learning and everything. He's definitely in demand. So good field.
Yes, it is.
Good field. You guys are always needed.
Well, you say
no matter what.
Thank you. Yes. Well, we, our family, we can really relate because I've been saying the same thing. We've had friends and neighbors and family that have all been laid off, and we've seen almost like a surge in a need for work. So we're super thankful. And, I've known people that have been working at companies for many, many years that have been let go. So
Yeah,
we're right on the
yeah.
same page with you. But you mentioned your family. So one of the things we like to do when we first start an interview is learn a little bit more about our guests. So can you tell us maybe a little bit about yourself personally, your family or whatever?
Definitely. So my husband and I are high school sweethearts.
Oh, how
at
cool is
you.
that?
Yeah, 24 years together.
Awesome.
Wow.
Congrats.
We've been together 24 years.
Wow, that's
We're
great.
both originally from the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
He actually was born in New York and raised in the Virgin Islands. And we met in high school. And I liked him. He was a nice guy.
Wait a minute. You said that past tense.
He is a keeper. He's a keeper.
Nice.
We've been together now 24 years. We have a son and a daughter. They are 13 and 12. So that's it for us. Boy and a girl, we're good to go.
Yeah, that's related.
Perfect.
That's a busy ages too, though. Yeah.
We're good to go. He was in the military.
Very nice.
He did National Guard, Army Reserve,
Wow.
and we've been on this journey. We moved to Florida in 1999, and we've been here ever since.
Very
We
nice.
have been here ever since. So
It's your home
Yeah,
now,
that's-
right?
yeah, this is that. At this point, this is home. That's what I tell everyone. At this point, this is home. So that's we've been rocking for a long time. That's my
Awesome.
guy. That's my best friend.
I love
he's
that.
he's really
Love
my
to,
everything.
love
Yeah.
to hear that.
Yeah.
That should really, in a relationship, be the first thing that you refer to as your significant other as
best
is your
friend?
best friend.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
After that much time too,
And,
that is. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more. It says a lot more. Everybody's best friends for the first couple of years,
Yeah.
but that is impressive.
Yeah, after
Good for you
that
guys.
long. Yeah. 'Cause,
Yeah, absolutely. We've been riding together for a long time, and in any marriage you have your ups and your downs,
course.
and you go through things individually and as a couple.
Oh yes.
So for us to always throughout everything, we've always held each other's hands. I think that's the best thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's seen me grow. He's literally seen me, and I've seen him go from a teenager to a man to a
Yes.
husband to a father. So
Wow.
you
Yeah.
watch all of this evolution of this person. So yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy.
I
That's
love that.
amazing how you put that. Like,
Yeah.
you guys have really seen that evolution of
Yep.
all the different steps of life since
Yep.
you've been together, since you've been so
Absolutely.
young.
And
wow.
and to me again, that's
Definitely.
most impressive because I would say most of us, if not all of us, you're not really even the same person that you were
No.
when you from an age way back then. So staying in sort of the same lane with each other over that much time is very impressive. So congratulations to you guys for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, as we're talking about this kind of journey, this evolution, where in that journey did you becoming a makeup artist set in? Has this been something you've always been interested in? Is it something you came about later in life? Like, when did you find this as something you'd be interested in?
The thing about it is I always was interested in beauty. And when I was in high school, I actually used to work at my aunt's hair salon.
Cool.
And it's so funny because one day she saw me somewhere and I had my hair in like this style. And, as a hairstylist, she's like, who did your hair? She's thinking, who did I go to?
Oh,
and I said, well,
jealous.
I did it myself. I was like, well, I did it myself. And she looked at me and she was like, you did it yourself? And that weekend, she had me in her salon every Saturday. I worked with her and she taught me how to cut, how to color, how to style, how to
cool.
everything.
Wow.
And, after I graduated from high school, I kind of put the whole beauty thing aside. I was still interested and I have a natural talent for doing hair. But my focus was they say, go to college, get a degree. And that's what I did, go to corporate America. And then that's what I did.
Sure.
And it's so interesting because I loved playing in makeup, like I said, I love beauty and hair and all that type of stuff. And my dad was an entrepreneur, and I guess I always had that kind of in me. A lot of my family members actually are entrepreneurs. So I always had that drive, always had that in me because growing up seeing, my couple of my uncles who are contractors and another uncle who's a plumber and then my dad he had his own mechanic shop. Just seeing that around me, I always had the drive to like take that step out on faith. But one of the things for me is now as an adult, and I was a wife and a mom, I did struggle with, oh my gosh, am I making the right decision by leaving my corporate job?
Because of the people that are depending on you, right?
Yeah.
Right. And having to say to my husband, hey, I'm gonna cut our household income in half to kind of chase this dream.
Yeah.
Are you okay with carrying the family? And he was so supportive.
Wow.
He was so supportive. He always says to me, people see the makeup artist, I see the businesswoman.
Yeah.
He always says that I see the things you do behind the scenes, and he's watched me grow from just doing makeup on the side. Because when I was in corporate America, I was a claims adjuster. I started out in underwriting, and then I got my Series 6 adjuster's license, and then I went into catastrophe adjusting. I did auto claims. So I did that for like 7 years, and I would do like makeup on the weekends.
Yeah.
And I remember
you had so much fun when you were doing that part, right?
You know what this reminds me of? You guys are probably not going to be able to relate at all, but my favorite movie of all time is Fight Club. And the guy goes through a personal transformation in his life, but he's a claims adjuster for an auto insurance company. And he's going out of his mind, just bored and wanting a change. So it just kind of reminded me of what you're saying there. I could visualize you going through that. But when you decided, and it's so great to be surrounded by not only entrepreneurs that even really sort of instill that as a possibility for your life and not working for someone else. And I think the foundation, you talked about your husband being your best friend. I think support for that kind of thing is a critical ingredient to get it right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But, it matters to have someone, especially your spouse.
Yes.
Because even though this journey, a lot of the bulk of what I do is on me, he's still my right-hand guy.
Yes,
I still run things by him before I proceed with it, because it affects him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had many students who I mentor and coach, and one of the things that some of them deal with sometimes is not having that support from a significant other, or even a parent or siblings. And I see how it crushes them, because
of course.
Motivation, yes, it has to come from within, but sometimes just having that person who's closest to you say, yes, you're doing an awesome job. A
little more confidence.
I got you what you need.
Yeah.
Yes, it really builds your confidence.
Right.
Anything that I ask of him, he's like, what do you need, babe?
Yeah.
And he's there. So he really helps me. And I always say, like, Goddess Faces is ours. It's ours together, building something together for our kids, their future.
Yeah.
So we work as a team, and I love him for that. But you definitely have to have some support. You definitely have to have people in your background just helping you out. So yeah, it's important.
Well, did you know though, when you had these, you grew up around people that were entrepreneurs. It's great. You had this great support system with your husband. When you decided to do this, did you know that you wanted to do it as your own company? You wanted to start your own business?
It's so funny, because before I left Progressive, which is the insurance company I was working at, and I was doing makeup on the side and everything, I noticed there was a time where you started to see the transition of the phone calls coming in, more and more clients, and they needed me for more and more appointments, but I wasn't available. And I started referring them to other makeup artists, like, oh, you can go to this person or that person. And I truly feel like in that moment, it was God saying, you can keep referring them. I'm going to keep sending them until you figure out what it is I'm trying to do here.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And I remember my supervisor at the time, who is a client of mine now.
Oh, that's funny.
I remember talking to her and telling her, because we were really close. I've been to her house, stuff like that. And I remember talking to her and telling her, like, I really am being pulled in wanting to step out and become a makeup artist. And at the time I was just thinking makeup artistry. That's where my mind was. And I was in the process of getting my esthetician's license, which is how I met Heather. But when I spoke to her, she said, Jaye, you have to follow your heart and do what makes you happy. Because even though I had this 9-to-5 and I'm making good money, I was just kind of content, per se. It wasn't fulfilling. You know, you want to wake up every morning, and even at the end of the day, when you're dog tired, you still loved what you did.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, I didn't have that drive or that passion when it came to that.
Yeah.
And I'm not someone who can be around a desk every day.
Yeah.
That's just not who I am.
I can't
so
either.
I remember
you were in the safe zone is where you were at. You were safe.
Right.
Mhm.
Again, like I said, you know, they say you go to college, get a degree. That I did all of that. And so when it came time for me to turn in my 2-week notice, and I turned in my 2-week notice. I remember I was so nervous. I was so nervous, but I prayed about it. I'm a very spiritual person. So I prayed about it and I said, okay, God, if this is what you want me to do, I just ask that you order my steps in this process, because I don't know what I'm doing, but my everything is pushing me in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned in my 2-week notice. And January 2015, I found this room in a salon in Oviedo. And I started working there, and I was doing makeup and facials and waxing. And I was just doing that for a little bit. And it's like, as time progressed, I realized I became more and more interested in other things like teaching. And so I started doing makeup classes. And from those makeup classes, I ended up birthing a book.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
I became an author. And from the book, I then started booking people wanting me to speak at different events. And now I'm a guest speaker at places. And
That's
then
crazy.
from that, I know. And then from that, I decided I wanted to come up with my own line of makeup products. So I birthed that. It was just these little things just kept popping up. And I'm someone who I love to research and develop. So I can be on my computer all day and there's nothing I can't figure out. Just tell me what you need and I'll figure it out.
Right.
You know?
Oh, you and Dan
And-
have that in common.
That's relatable.
But Jay,
gosh,
this happened in a very short amount of time, did it not?
Yeah. So January 2015 was when I got the space in Oviedo, and I was there for about a year. The following year, I ended up going to another location because it was a little bit closer, because Oviedo is a drive.
It's a little
Yeah, it's a ways
drive.
away.
It's a drive. Yeah. My husband makes that drive every day, and I'm just like, power to you.
Yeah.
But I found another location that was a little bit closer to home, and again, wanted to be closer with my kids in case they had emergencies or anything like that. I had the
course.
flexibility to,
Yeah,
get
you
them.
own your own business now. You want that
right,
flexibility when
right.
you're your own boss.
Exactly. So when I was at the last salon, I was in a little room again, and I feel like I felt myself growing out of that space. But what I realized is my experience as a claims adjuster, my experience in working at both salons helped to give me the foundation I needed to run my own business, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Totally does.
Yeah, it helped me to understand the importance of customer service, how to run the day-to-day of a spa, how the day-to-day of a salon goes, what I want in a team.
Yeah.
Even the type of personalities I want to work with me.
Right.
The type of environment.
Yeah, those were your
that I
stepping
want.
stones, basically, to
Yes,
just get to where you
yes.
needed to be.
Absolutely. Kind of
Awesome.
seeing these different environments helped me to know, okay, it's like, you're making a cake and you're like, I'm going to add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And then I come up with my own thing. You know what I mean? So, it definitely happened in a short space of time, but it just these building blocks. As I look back, I see how they all kind of came together, because when I finally got my own space, and I know there were people who kind of looked at me like, you're just a makeup artist. Why do you need all this space? But again, like my husband always says, I see the businesswoman, people see the makeup artist.
Yeah. You're thinking ahead.
I'm thinking ahead. I know that I wanted to give more than just makeup. I want it to be a spa. I want to build a team. I want to create services. And I want to teach. I want to be able to certify. I want to coach. I want to mentor. So all of these things I think about, and I said, okay, this is what I need to do. So I had that space. I opened up, had my grand grand opening. It was very successful.
Yes, I was there.
And then, and then I started growing out of that space. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening again.
That is awesome. I mean, that's just a great success story.
I love stories like that.
But you said something there where somebody said, "Oh, but you're just a makeup artist."
Yes, I've heard that.
You're not just a makeup artist, because you're very accomplished when it comes to that part of your business.
Plus, that thinking to me is just that's sort of short-sighted.
Like, what
thinking.
does that mean? You're just a makeup artist. There's makeup artists that tour around the country or the world to do makeup for stars.
World renowned. And I know you're going to head into that, Angie, but I think what I hear when you talk about how your team and the business and all, it's almost like the recipe that you figured out mixing all this together, you got it right, because as Angie's about to jump into, that really kind of shot you out of a cannon with all of this.
Yeah. I mean, you've been accredited with doing makeup on TV shows and some magazines. I mean, tell us about some of those amazing accomplishments for somebody who, I mean, you always did makeup. You were interested in it, but it's really been a short amount of time that professionally, per se, you had been doing it.
In the grand scheme of things, I mean, that's like
my gosh, it's amazing, because the first time I worked with a celebrity, I had met someone, saw my work, and they reached out to me and wanted to meet up with me because they were doing a fashion show. And it's so crazy, because when we met up, I had never met this person before ever, and she knew, I think it was Bravo or WeTV, but she knew some people from this show called Thicker Than Water. And it was this world-renowned Grammy Award-winning guy, and he had a show, and the wife and the daughters and a couple of the other people, they needed their makeup done. And she reached out to me, again, just from seeing my work somewhere, I don't even know where. Wow. This is why I say God is always divine intervention, because sometimes my work ends up in the hands of people and in the sight of people, where I'm not even there.
Yeah. And with social media nowadays, with people that, are influencers and just how big Instagram is. Sure. I mean, you just never know whose lap that's going to fall into. So that's amazing.
I'm telling you. And it's like, I did the makeup for that. And then that turned into work for MTV. And then that turned into work for BET. And it was like,
that's amazing.
All of this is just happening. Even with the BET, I got an email, and at first I'm thinking, is this email a scam?
Right, of course.
Am I being punked? Yeah.
Right. What's going on here? What's really going on? And I reached out to the person, and it was legit BET, and they wanted me to come to Miami, and they had this event with Michelle Obama and all these other actresses, and I'm just like, is this me?
I would have had a heart attack.
I'm telling you, it's so crazy. But yeah, I've been blessed to have had my name in rooms that I've never been in, and my work show up in front of faces who had never met me before. That opened the door to opportunities. I had a magazine from New York came down, and the editor, they were shooting in Claremont, and it's so crazy, because my dad passed away January of 2015, which is the same year I decided to become an entrepreneur. And I always say he's with me, because when I landed that gig for the New York Magazine, it was on his birthday.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
it was on his birthday.
Were there like cardinals flying out the window and dragonflies around too? Because
I'm telling you, I was like blown away by this, but it definitely was one of those moments where I was like,
what's going on?
Wow. When they when they told me the date, November 22nd, I'm like, that's my dad's birthday. I was like, okay, all right, because he passed away suddenly. So
okay.
Yeah, he had a blood clot that traveled to his heart. So it was one of those things where my dad was here one day, and the blood clots, they call them the widowmaker for a reason. Yeah.
Oh, there's no signs of one? You just have it?
Some people know. Some people they can just
no signs.
Wow.
Some people can be healthy and it just happens. Like
it just happens.
Just one of those weird, like having an aneurysm or something. Yeah.
I mean, like an aneurysm. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So scary.
Like that.
That's why we have to take each day as it comes and live it to the fullest, right? Because we do not know.
Indeed, we do.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it, if there's like an NDA or if indeed, but I'm always curious about these success stories because it's so exciting to hear that somebody came to you that was famous and then that led to another, and then you got the email. Do you know how the rest of these, do you know how Bravo or MTV or BET, do you know how they found out about you? Was it from the celebrity? Did they see that person?
Yeah, it was like a word of mouth. Because even when with MTV it was Black Ink Crew,
right?
And when they reached out to me, it was from the celebrity who was at the event that I did for Bravo. And so then they reached out and I did the photo shoot for that.
Yeah.
The one with BET, though, they found me on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So out of
BET,
all the people doing makeup on Instagram, they found you. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
So that's that's like lightning. Right. That's how you know that you're talented. Not that you didn't know that, but lightning striking twice in the same spot like that. It's like sometimes people get one avenue that spreads their business. You've had at least two that you're telling us about now.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought it was a scam, because when I saw this email, BET, we're having an event, and I'm looking at this like, oh, here we go again, another scam. And something just told me, just call, see what happens.
Yeah.
And it was legit. And before I knew it, I'm in Miami and in a hotel. And
Did you see Michelle Obama?
I didn't get to see Michelle.
Oh.
I didn't, but I was able to see, I didn't meet her, I should say.
Yeah.
But I did get to see her on the Jumbotron.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
there you go.
Hey, that's close enough.
I didn't get to meet her.
You were in the same vicinity.
You were in the same room. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it was a great event because I ended up meeting so many other makeup artists and hairstylists and a lot of different people. It was a really good
great
experience.
Networking. Yeah, networking event.
Absolutely.
So you won a pretty cool award in 2018 as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So Women on the Rise.
Right.
This is crazy. In 2017, I had a friend of mine who was nominated for a Woman on the Rise award for her philanthropy. And
nice.
I remember going to the event to support her, and it was a huge event. And I remember being in the audience, and she ended up winning. And I remember saying to myself, man, and I remember saying to myself, man, one day, Jay, one day you're going to win an award, Jay. Fast forward to 2018, I get a call that I'm nominated. Oh my God.
Wow, the power of intention, right?
Wow, girl.
I know. I get this call, I'm nominated, and I'm screaming because I can't believe it. But then I'm nervous because I look at who I'm up against. Mm-hmm. And some of these people are pretty affluent in Orlando. And I'm just like, oh gosh, no one cares about me.
Oh my.
Because again, I'm looking at these names and I'm just like, I'm looking at some of who these people are attached to. I'm looking at one lady. I saw who her husband was. He was a big guy in the, not just Orlando, Central Florida area. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am not going to win this award. So I remember my mom, my mom's husband, my husband, we all went and we're sitting at the table, and my, what do they call it? My section comes on, and
your category. My category.
My category.
So hold on, before you tell the rest of the story, did you not know that you were going to win ahead of time?
I had no clue.
Oh, they didn't tell you.
Okay.
Nope.
So go ahead. Sorry, that is awesome.
Okay, cool.
That night, wondering.
Right. Oh wow.
So I'm there, and we're sitting down, and they call off the names, and they read all the different accomplishments that each person has and whatnot. And then the way they announce who won, it's kind of like not a riddle, but the way they said it. They said, "This woman thinks of all of her clients as goddesses." My husband looked at me. He was like, oh, gosh. No one uses that word other than you, Jay.
Oh my
and
gosh.
my mom grabs my hand, and I'm sweating bricks. Bricks. And then they say, Miss J.
Oh, and wow.
I couldn't even believe they said my name. I sat there for a minute before I even got
shock.
up.
Wow, that's
and
great.
then I finally go up, and I get this award, and I'm just looking in the audience, and I'm speechless because I again, I was just here a year before,
Right.
because this is a huge organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And
all over the
like
place. It's not just Orlando. Yeah.
Right. And I'm just saying to myself, like I said, the people who I was up against, it's like going to the Oscars and Meryl Streep's in your category. You're like, yeah, I lost that one.
Yeah. Oh my.
You know? So when you hear your name, it's like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe I won. I was so blown away. Even when we were driving home and I had the award in my hand, and I'm just looking at this award like, wow, I actually won. I couldn't stop saying it.
Wow.
So,
wow.
yeah.
Well, I think it was very well deserved.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you.
Now, earlier you were listing off and we were talking about all these different things that you do. Like there's so much more than just makeup artistry. And one of the things that you do that is just very impressive to me, because we need more of this, is you love to empower young women especially.
Yes.
And
yes.
And to teach others. You've touched on that a couple times. So we'll talk about those two things. But let's really chat about why you are so passionate about empowering young women.
So as a young woman coming up, you know, sometimes we tend to, I want to say, like in our 20s, we don't quite know our worth yet.
Yes.
And we're trying to figure out who we are. And sometimes in the midst of trying to figure out who you are, you can lose yourself because you're trying to please others.
Yes.
And it's so important to know your worth so that you know you're good enough by yourself, by just who you are. Not always needing to seek validation from others. It has to start with you. In the world that we live in now with social media and likes and followers and all this stuff, people can get really caught up in that. And I've seen young women who can take that to heart. Like, I don't have enough followers. I don't have enough likes. I don't have enough this, or that person's doing this and I'm not there yet. And I really want them to understand how your journey is so unique to you. You just have to stay focused and keep going. Yeah. A lot of times we get in our own way sometimes.
Yeah, we have a teenage girl in the home, so we understand daughter, that whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to just turn off the noise of everything around you. Remember what it is that you wanted, what you're going after, why you deserve it, why you're deserving of it, and go after it. I had a cousin one time tell me that, you know, she said it this way, you just kind of jump off of cliffs. And, you know, she was like, how do you do that? And two things. One, I'll say I do have a very strong faith, and I'm not saying it's always been perfect, because I've been through things in my life where I've lost faith. You know, where I was going through some things, because when the crash of 2008 happened, it hit home. I lost my job, hubby lost his job, and, you know, we both were in a really dark place. And to pull myself out of that, you know, and to say, no, we're not going to allow this to redirect the direction we were going in to begin with. We know what it is that we want. We know what we're trying to accomplish. Let's keep going. Even because in the midst of something like that, marriages end.
Oh, of course.
You know, a lot of things.
Marriages end over much simpler things.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's one of those times where you got to say, okay, let's figure this out and let's try to pick ourselves up and keep going. And I know for me, I really had to take a look at myself and just say, okay, let's stop feeling sorry for Jaye and go after what you want. And like I said, one of the biggest things I learned is to not compare myself to others, and not compare my journey to others either. Yeah. My journey is unique to me. It fits me. My destiny is for me. So one, I don't have to chase what belongs to me already. You know, it's just like with Goddess Faces. I don't feel like I have to, how to put it? I don't feel like I have to overly chase or work too hard, because it's already in my journey. It's already there. I just have to make sure I do everything in my power to honor my business, to honor my clients, to respect my business, to respect my clients, to respect my team. That is my goal. So when it comes to young girls, I just want them to really understand their worth and know that they are deserving of whatever they put their minds to. Completely and utterly. You are completely deserving of whatever you put your mind to, and never judge yourself through the lens of somebody else.
Yeah. And you do workshops for young girls, right? So tell us a little bit about that. If somebody's interested in that's listening, when do you run those? Where can they find more information out? Like tell us the scope of that.
So Goddess Girls was started 3 years ago, and I do it every summer. Of course, because of COVID, we're not going to do it this summer. But it's for girls ages 13 to 19. And I have it split into 2 groups over the course of 2 days. So the girls ages 13 to 15, we have someone come in and teach them about hygiene, teach them about how to take care of their hair, their skin, even how to have conversations about certain things with their parents. Because at that age, you're kind of transitioning through puberty. You're trying to fit in as well, and you're just getting into middle school, so a lot of things start showing up. So I have 2 counselors that come in and talk to them about loving themselves and mindset coaching, how to keep a positive mindset in the midst of chaos. And then the girls ages 16 to 19, they have more of a grown adult conversation because that's usually the age where they're kind of transitioning into like whether it's boyfriends or even again, questioning themselves and again puberty. But again, just making sure they know their worth. And it starts from that age because when you arm a girl as a teenager, she's a force to be reckoned with when she's a young adult.
Oh, yes.
I
so
love
agree.
I love that you said the armory, give her that armory at that age.
Absolutely. It's so cool. Important.
I'd love for Rachel to come to one of those classes.
I would too. I think,
it's very important.
Another thing you said, I totally agree. Another thing you said that strikes me is it seems like I'm not like a big celebrity buff, but I like reading the stories behind like actors and some artists that are very successful. And they all kind of say the same language. And it reminded me of what you said, that at some point they realize they have all of the success that they want. And it really, even in a timeline when to an outsider, they don't have that success, but they say, I knew that everything I wanted was already mine. It was my job really just to align my actions to synchronize up with that. It's kind of it's kind of the, so it struck me when you said, your job wasn't really to reach that level of success that you knew you already had. It was to take care of your team and to take care of your people.
Yes. I love that.
And so to me, I think when people can truly embrace that, whether it's through faith or whatever, it's almost like because it's easy to say you're going to do that, and it's also easy to get in your head again and talk yourself out of it.
Yes. You can be your worst enemy by far.
And you can say,
literally.
I was going to say, you can say that you're that way, but if in your head you're like, you can tell everyone, I know but if you don't truly believe it, it won't come to be. That's kind of how I feel.
And you have to work for it, like you said, you have to align yourself with it, right? So it's not like, I'm going to be rich and famous, and then you sit there.
Right.
That's not how it works. Anybody that has become successful, they have
you
worked
have to
for
work.
It.
Right. Like the saying goes, words without deed is dead. You can say all day, I'm going to be an awesome whatever. If you're not planting the seeds or putting in the work to accomplish what it is that you say you want to do, you'll be saying that for 40 years.
Exactly.
You'll be saying that for free. You're just saying, I wish one day I wanted to whatever, and it never happened because you never did anything to make it happen.
The other one,
all it takes is that one step. Just take that one step.
That's right. Yeah. The other one you reminded me of is the saying that says a goal without a plan is called a dream. So it's kind of the same, the same thing.
That's a good one.
That's really what it is. Yeah. That's really all it is.
And because I'm sorry. What I love about you too is like you are just like always continuing to add more kind of to your
own plate.
Your own plate.
Yeah.
So you're continuing your education, adding new services.
Yeah.
I think I saw something about you becoming a life coach.
Yeah, I did. Over the
kind of goes right along with inspiring those young girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we were on the stay at home, I said, okay, I'm home. So I still have to do something. I still have to implement something. I still have to, be productive.
Right.
And so, being that I teach, I wanted to make sure I was able to take it a step further and really make sure that when I'm coaching and mentoring, it's coming from not just a genuine place, but a place of authenticity and understanding of what I'm doing as a coach and how to really go about helping people put together the skills that they need and put together a plan to execute. And so I got certified as a life coach and a goals coach as well. So I did that, and I got a couple other certifications while I was at home, still learning.
Unbelievable.
Did you write another book while you were home?
Oh.
I thought about it. I didn't write another book, but I ended up creating 2 online courses.
Wow.
Oh, that
I ended up
is
creating
funny.
2 online courses.
You sound, one thing I guess I feel like we may have in common is I don't really know how to slow down.
Yeah.
So I think I don't even like to really. So
he's like, I'm so tired. I don't know why I can't sleep because you guys don't stop. That's why.
Sleep is sleep is a
I
necessary evil to me.
I'm telling you, I've always been the type, believe it or not, I don't even know how to take a nap in the day. I don't know how to do that.
Oh.
Same here. So,
I do.
I don't feel good after I take a nap.
If I find myself falling asleep, I'm like, well,
make some coffee. That's me.
There's something to do.
Me too. So let's
Sleep
talk
at night.
let's talk about your book for a minute, because I am also an author, totally different kind of book, but you are a fellow author. Your book is called Beauty Defined. It's all about skincare and makeup for women, right?
Yes.
But did you self-publish? How did you?
Yes.
I mean, because that, as an author who's done that in and of itself as one thing, not to mention all the other stuff you have going on, there's not really a good guide out there to show you how to do that. So I could do it now, but so you did all that yourself in the middle of all of this.
I did. So how the book came about, it's so crazy. So I started doing these makeup and skincare workshops back in 2014. I did my first one. And then after that, what I would do at the workshops is I would give them little goodie bags, little swag bags filled with like brushes and makeup and little things and little trinkets.
Sure.
And I would put together like a folder. I'll never forget. It was a glitter folder. It was pink with glitter on it. And I'd put together these little notes that I would make about how to take care of your skin and how to, choose the right makeup and all this type of stuff. And so fast forward to 2016, I got asked to be a guest speaker at an event. And as part of being the guest speaker at the event, I said, you know what, I'm going to throw in doing a makeup workshop for the ladies at this event. And it was about 75, 100 women.
Nice.
And so I had all these notes that I had written and I had typed them up. So about 2 days before the event, I was in my bedroom and I started stapling these papers together, and it's like a pile high of all these papers that I had over the years. And I'm stapling and one of my kids had called me for something and all the papers fell onto the floor. And believe it or not, mind you, when that falls, it's like, oh my gosh.
Start
now
all
I have to
over.
decipher through. Right. But what's crazy is in that moment, I'm looking at these papers on the floor and I'm like, this looks like a book.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's one of those scenarios where it's a good thing your kid interrupted you.
Right. And it's so crazy because I remember being at the event, handing out the folders and everything. And my mom, because she supports me and everything, she was there. And I remember my mom pulled me aside after the event and she was like, why are you giving your book away for free? And I was like, what do you mean? And she said,
wow,
this is a book, Jay. And after that event, I went home. That night, I went to Create Space.
Oh, yes. I've been there.
Started the editing process. I found a graphic designer, created the graphics for the cover. I started putting all the edits together because there's certain requirements for a book and all this type of stuff.
Sure.
Started getting all the stuff together for copywriting and everything. And within 3 months, I had my book.
Wow.
Whoa, girl. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Took me 2
You
years.
thought a year for the first one,
yeah,
though.
was it? Yeah.
You thought a year was
but if
quick,
you think
huh?
about it, though, but if you think about it,
You
it,
had
it
everything
was
collected.
over years.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had collected. It wasn't until that moment that I realized, oh my gosh, I have all these pages.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had already written a book. So it took all those papers falling on the floor and my mom coming to me and saying, "You're giving this book away for free."
That is great.
That was the inspiration you needed right there. That is amazing.
My mom is everything to me. She is my ultimate inspiration, my idol. My dad too, but you know, my mom is she's really just that's a woman 3 degrees.
Yeah.
Like I look at her and she's the reason why I have no reason. My mom had me at 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
that's
for
how old
her
my
to-
mom was.
Yeah.
Right. So
Isn't that
for
funny?
her to really push herself through everything, every obstacle that showed up
Mm-hmm.
for a teen mom.
Yes.
And she really pushed herself, and to be in the space that she is now, I look at her and I'm like, I have no reason to ever give up. Because she had every reason to
And
stop.
she didn't.
Yeah.
Does that
she
make
didn't.
sense? And
Yes.
she didn't.
Yes.
You know,
Truly
she
an
had
inspiration.
every reason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she had every reason to stop. And so for me, she is my ultimate, like, yeah, that
is great.
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
wonderful.
So where can people find your book?
So you can find my book on my website, goddessfacesbeauty.com,
Yep.
and on Amazon.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Yep.
So we talked a little bit about COVID in the beginning. Now, COVID
Yeah.
has not slowed you down as far as your business goes. So tell us what happened amidst COVID-19. Something pretty major.
So last summer, I had an event at my spa, and there was this guy. He was a real estate agent. He had came to the event. And after the event, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, if you're ever looking for a new location, here's my card." Now, this was last summer. And I remember taking his card and saying, I don't know if I need that right now, but okay, I'll hold on to it. And around November, that's when I started feeling like, I think it's time for me to move. I think it's time for me to get a bigger space. I think it's time. And I kept feeling that gnawing at me. So I gave him a call and I said, "You know what? I'm going to take you up on your offer. Not right now, but I'm looking to start looking. Maybe let's look at January 2020. And hopefully I'll be in a new spot by like March or so." So fast forward to January, I always write down my goals for the year. So I have a journal that I keep and I write down all my goals, everything that I want to accomplish for my business, whether it's, revenue, new certifications, classes, how many students I want. I just start writing everything down. And one of them was, new location, I knew the amount of space that I wanted, how much I wanted to pay in rent, how much I could afford in rent.
Uh-huh.
And so I contacted him probably like the end of January. And I said, "I'm ready." And he was like, "Okay, let's start looking." So we were looking for some time. And every time he would find a space, there'd always be something wrong with it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's big enough, but it needs a lot of work. Or it's a good price, but it's in a bad area. So there was always something going on. And then, of course, stay-at-home orders came. And I'm just like, geez, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to stay home. So then he gives me a call in, March, April? And he says, "I think I found a spot for you." And I'm like, okay.
How am I
He
supposed to
sends
see
me
it?
Right. So it's funny because he sends me the address, and believe it or not, I honestly initially didn't want to go further into Longwood. And I didn't want to go under the I-4 bridge. And the address, as you can see, that's exactly where I'm at.
Yep.
And so I remember getting the address, and I was saying, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to get to go see this. But at the time, that's when they said we could like wear masks, and
go out.
So I was like, okay, let's meet up. So I reluctantly went to see the space, believe it or not. I was reluctant because, again, it was further in Longwood. I didn't want to be further in the Longwood, but it's literally 8 minutes from my old spot.
Yeah, it's not far at all.
To door.
Yeah.
8 minutes. So I get there, and as soon as I pull up, I notice all the windows on the outside, which is perfect for makeup artistry. You need natural light.
Which is opposite of where you were located before.
Where I was before, right.
Yes.
So immediately I was like, oh my gosh, I almost walked away from this place.
Wow.
So we go inside, and the property manager said, oh, it used to be a spa. And I'm just like, no way.
So like everything's almost
it's all set up
already.
Everything's out. Right. So I'm just like, this is not real life. This is not real life. So in that moment, I said, I want to sign today. I want to sign today because I don't want anybody else to get this space. I want to sign today. So
and then they told you the rent, and the rent was in your budget too.
Oh my gosh, it was perfect.
That's amazing.
I was like, this is just amazing. Everything fell into place, and that's what I mean by even in the midst of COVID-19, it was like God had us in this bubble, and things were still manifesting the way they were supposed to, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I again, just so grateful.
It's
just
very
so,
cool.
so grateful.
And so
grateful.
the space is beautiful. I've been there.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
So we have your old logos up, but you have some new logos. So we're excited to see
That's
those.
another thing I worked on.
Yeah, so that'll be up on the website soon.
Yeah.
But she has some beautiful new logos. You totally like changed your whole decor. It looks gorgeous in there. That's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, what's that? What? Yeah. But yes.
Always working on new, always trying to build, and because again, I feel like there's a vision that we all have. We all have a God-given vision that comes to us, and that's why I say you have to walk confidently in knowing that what is for you is for you. Even if something doesn't work out, does it really not work out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
So I think in my 20s, that's not the way I thought.
Yeah.
In my 20s, I wanted what I wanted, how I wanted it, the way it's supposed to look, the way it's supposed to be is what I want.
Yeah.
But as you get older and you have kids, because kids will quickly make you realize that you're not in control of anything here.
This is true.
Kids, because I'm also very, I'm very OCD and anal when it comes to how I want things.
Don't point at me.
Well, also when you're saying that, as you get older, you stop acting like that, and you listen to, I'm thinking I still have to figure that out. I think in some way.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it comes from I'm a controlling person.
Yes,
I have to
me
have
too.
things a certain way.
Me too.
But after having kids, I'm still that way. Don't get me wrong now. But my son and my daughter are such independent thinkers.
Yes.
Such
That's
independent minds that they've literally proven to me you can't control us.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
We have our own minds.
Yeah. I love it.
Well,
so yeah.
We are very happy to support you, and
thank you.
Wish you, of course, much more success.
Indeed. And I want to say talking to you tonight, to me, your passion for this, your drive and motivation, and your ability to listen to your inner voice. That's something that so many people can't do, but it seems like that's been a key component of sort of navigating every which way is the right way all the way through this. And it's a great story, and we wish you much more success for sure.
Thank you so much. I'm on this journey. I wouldn't change it for the world. I left corporate America 5 years ago, and I'm just looking forward to the future because I know it's bright. So I'm just moving in that direction. I've learned to, like you said, listen to my intuition, you know, and just keep going, because I know what's mine is mine. So I just want to honor my business, honor my team, honor my clients. And I know once I continue to do that, Goddess Faces is going to take off the way it's supposed to.
Keep
definitely.
going.
And I see a book in your future about that journey.
That would actually be a really interesting book.
You know, it might be down the road, but I see it.
Of course.
I see it there.
Of course.
Some
From your lips.
wise words in there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Thank you.
So Jaye, as we're wrapping up, we know that you're obviously very involved in your community. Can you tell us how you stay involved in community?
So through Women on the Rise, of course, I've been able to network with a lot of different organizations. And that, too, is what sparked Goddess Girls, being able to work with different organizations who help, you know, kids, you know, whether it's from lower income households or kids who just need a mentor, someone to help guide them. Women on the Rise really, really helped me to bridge that gap. So I'm able to go through them and be able to reach out to different organizations. And I have to tell you, I have a lot of people who reach out to me. Earlier this year, during the stay-at-home order, actually, I had someone reach out to me and they said, you know, hey, I've been watching you for a minute. You're a very inspiring person. And I'm just wondering if you're willing to come and speak at different colleges.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that next year and going to different colleges and talking to the grads, and I'm excited about that too.
Oh, how awesome
that is amazing.
Yeah. It's I'm trying to do my best to inspire as many as I can, because again, this journey, this thing called life, it can have a lot of ups and downs, but it's about having the right mindset too. Mm-hmm. And again, like Dan said, you know, that intuition, we all have that intuition. It's just being able to tap into it.
Yeah.
Because it's always with you and it's guiding you and it's telling you what to do. And honestly, when you put out positive energy, the universe starts working in your favor.
Yes.
It does.
The universe literally starts working in your favor.
Yep.
It will blow your mind how if you just put it out there, that, you know, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be amazing, and you start planting those seeds to go along with that, the universe is like, okay, we see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's start making this happen.
You know what's so funny? I am 100% in agreement that the universe is a big echo chamber, yet I do get in my own way, like you said, because knowing that even if you go, oh, I'm just not, this just isn't meant to work out, the universe goes, okay, then it won't.
Right.
So
Right. I've learned to be still, because I was the same way. And I've just learned to say, okay, Jaye, step out of your head.
Yeah.
Step out of your head. You know how this will play out. You know it's going to work out if you just do what it is that you need to do, because you've been in a pickle before.
Yeah.
And you came out of it, didn't you?
Right.
Yeah,
So
and
I
it
also
might not
remind myself.
Yeah, and it might not be the way you think it's going to work out.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
thing, is
the key.
that everybody has an idea of how their path or whatever's going to
Yes.
go, but that may
Yes.
not be what is intended or the
I'm
way that it's going
telling
to
you.
work for you. So
Yeah.
but you also have to be in tune, like you said, with the universe or, you know, your faith or whatever it is to know, wait a minute, like you said, something kept poking at you saying, hey, try this.
Yes.
Hey, try
Yes.
this.
Yes.
When you ignore it, that's when things don't turn out for it, you know, the way you wanted it. So that is super important too. So great lessons for any young ones listening. See, take this advice, guys, when you're young.
Indeed.
I'm telling you.
Really?
I'm telling you. There's so much headache I could have avoided if I had known this stuff when I was in my 20s.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, girl. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us tonight. We will let you go.
Of
We've
course.
taken, we could talk for 2 or 3 hours,
Yes.
I'm sure. But we look forward to having you in the studio whenever
Thank
it is
you.
up and running
Definitely.
again.
We definitely do.
I'll be there.
All right.
I will be there. This was fun. Thank you so
This
much
was
for
great.
choosing me to be on the show tonight.
Oh.
70th episode.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. This was
Yes.
great.
All right, Jaye, have a
Thank you.
great night and stay safe. All right.
You guys too. All
All
right.
right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to wrap the show up, so hang tight. Hey guys, welcome back, and thank you for joining us for that interview. Such an inspiring person, an inspiring interview, and
right here in our community, there's so many of those.
Yeah,
we want them all on the show.
There really are, and I got a little lost in that one, just thinking of how, just for my own life, things that she's a makeup artist with a makeup business and a makeup book, and I obviously don't wear makeup, but I found the story and her mindset and her philosophies to be just inspiring for life in general.
Yeah, we could literally have talked for 2 to 3 hours or more. Who knows?
Yeah, that was
never stop
really,
us.
really cool, though.
Well, guys, so everybody knows last week we had Jo Ellen from Shabby Jo's on the show, and she was talking about the barn raiser that she is doing for Evangeline.
For Evangeline, that's right.
So the barn raiser is coming up this Friday. Yeah. Oh, let me get my dates right. Yeah, it's this weekend.
It's this weekend.
Yes, it starts on Friday. Well, we ran into a little snag, but Jo Ellen is not going to let that snag stop her from putting on this event. So Jo Ellen had a pretty major dirt bike accident. As far as a collision with another dirt bike.
Yes, wow.
She had her son on the bike with her, and as a mama bear does, her son did not get hurt at all. Let's put it that way.
She protected him, yeah.
She sure did. But Jo Ellen did get a major break in her arm and has to get surgery on Thursday.
Yeah.
So our thoughts are with you right now,
yeah,
Miss Jo Ellen. I've been texting her. And she will go in on Thursday, but she said it is still going to happen.
Wow.
She's Superwoman. Like, let's just put it like she's literally
no
Superwoman.
Kidding.
So she's going to figure it out. So it will still be going on. We will have the pictures soon of the auction item. Obviously, because of what happened, we're not worried about that right now.
Yeah.
But if you're watching the video, you can see the information for the barn raiser. That is going to be July 17th through the 25th. And it's going to be at the Old Red Barn of Geneva. You can also find the GoFundMe page for Evangeline.
Let's talk a bit about Evangeline in case you haven't heard another one of our shows recently.
Yeah.
So Evangeline is a little girl who was diagnosed with cancer.
Yes, and Jo Ellen talks about the type of cancer it is in her show. And obviously, going through COVID-19 right now, it's a very big struggle for the family.
Even more scary.
That's right. So even more scary. And so Jo Ellen decided to put an event together to help raise some funds for the family since anybody who has a child with cancer is struggling.
Yes, of course.
We've known many, and there's struggle, but there is help out there. People do want to help.
Yeah.
So that is what they're putting the event on for. It'll be open on the weekends, but you can do bidding on Shabby Jo's website. She'll have the items posted for the auction items. So on Shabby Jo's website or Facebook page, is where you can find the items that you can auction, and we want to get those bids up there so that we can raise a lot of money for the family.
And that's Facebook.com/Shabby Jo, right?
Yes, I think so.
ShabbyJo. JOS.
Yes. So we'll have all those links in the show notes as well, so you can easily just click on it and go right to it. And in other news, I've only been one time to see my grandbaby because of all the craziness going on, but I just wanted to share a little picture with our grandbaby girl, Miss Oakley Rain Nissen. Now, I know all grandparents say it, but it's the cutest baby. Like, really?
She's incredibly
She's even
cute.
cuter than my kids were.
I
said that.
The video that you showed me tonight where Taylor's rubbing her head.
And melt me.
Yes. So you guys get to deal with us talking about that, and
we'll be annoying grandparents, but it's okay. Sorry. But,
I'm going to be just as bad when we get the dog at some point too. So it'll be dog and baby pictures for the next 2 years.
Oh, and Dan and I they already got in the mail the Minnie Mouse baby ears that we sent them. I'm not going to say what else it is that they're getting just in case they're listening, but we sent another present Disney related.
They'll know it's from us.
Austin opened the ears and he said, "Oh my God, did they send us Disney passes already?"
Not yet, for a couple reasons, but one day for sure.
Oh, that's right. Well, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week or whenever you can, because you can always go back and listen. But if you like what you hear, please give us a rating, a review, and subscribe if you get a chance, and like us on all of our social media.
Indeed. And we say subscribe. Sometimes I feel like, what do we mean by subscribe? So whatever your podcast app is that you listen to podcasts on, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Google, you have an option in there to subscribe in the app of your choice. If you're not a podcast person and you just listen to this on our website, you can also click the link on our website to watch the videos, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Some people actually just do the audio version of the podcast through YouTube. Anyway, that's what we mean by subscribe. You can also call us at 407-490-3899 if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you have an idea for someone else that can be a guest on the show.
Or email us at feedback@fineanddangy.com. We'd love to hear from you.
That's right. And that's all of our social media as well. Fineanddangy, DANJEE.com. And that wraps up our show for today, for this week. That was a good one.
Yes, we hope you enjoyed that. We love supporting our local small businesses. If you have a local small business and would like to be on the It's All Fine and Dangy podcast, get in contact with us.
You sling your head around when you do that. It's all fine.
It's at the end of the show, and I'm all like loopy.
You guys that are listening to the audio version only are really missing out on Angie's animated antics.
I make crazy eyes, and sometimes I sing, and Dan does stuff with his hands where it looks like he's
just the one hand
superpowers at me or something. We're very animated.
Angie's animated antics is hard to say.
It really is. That's why we have cartoon as our logo, because we're very animated.
Oh, is that why?
That's why.
Okay.
That's got to be what it is.
All right. I think that is what it is.
All right, guys. Well, we hope you're staying safe and healthy and sane. Why was that? What was I doing?
I don't know.
That was too long of a pause. Sorry, guys. And remember, at the end of each and every day, it's
all fine and dandy.
You were a little slow to come on that one.
My brain flaked out. I thought,
what happened?
What do we say? I can't believe I forgot what we said. I thought you were going to say at the end of the day. I don't know what I thought.
Everyone's fine and dandy?
I don't know why.
It's all fine and dandy.
It's all fine and dandy.
Now pose for the picture.
Good idea. We never do that. Do it again.